Hey guys, Tyler here. If you are a buyer, I have a question for you. Are you ready and are you willing to do what it takes in this market in 2022? I mean, seriously, are you really willing to do everything that needs to be done to call yourself a homeowner this year? In this video, that's exactly what we're going to be going over, is the mistakes I'm really seeing buyers make in this market, in this absolutely crazy market that we're seeing, and what mistakes they're making, so that you as a potential buyer coming into this market may be better prepared and are able to avoid some of these mistakes and hopefully save you some heartache down the road. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this video. But before we do, if you could, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like videos like this. And down in the comments, please comment I'm ready if you are a buyer ready to get going and ready to buy a home in this market upcoming in 2022. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, here we are in the beginning of 2022. It is midway through January, and the market is already revving up and it's showing itself what it may look like through the remainder of 2022. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be easy. This is going to be a very, very tough market for a lot of buyers, and it's going to be very frustrating for many of them if they're not mentally prepared. And the reason I asked you this question of are you willing to do what it takes is because that is the biggest mistake I'm seeing buyers make, is they're coming into this market thinking that they're going to become a homeowner, but they're mentally and emotionally not ready to do what it's going to take. And I'm going to share some examples of some of the offers that I've written, some of the offers that I've heard and seen in this market for buyers that have had to do what it actually takes to win. And in not all cases is it easy, and not all cases is it fun and exciting. It's honestly stressful and overwhelming in many cases. I have a listing right now that I listed and sold, and it sold for $40,000 over asking price. Now, I'm in a market in the Midwest where values are muted. We're not on the East and West Coast where you've seen $100,000 increases, and that's just because our home values are a lot less. They're more affordable and more desirable. So if you're out in the East and West Coast and you're struggling and you're like, man, a $40,000 increase in purchase price above purchase price doesn't sound that intense. Well, maybe this may be the place for you to look for a home. And if you have more questions about that, you can find a link down in the description where you can reach out and ask us any questions about this market. And I'll link a couple of videos about Omaha in the cards right here if you have questions about that. But my question for you is this: are you ready? Are you ready to do what it takes? And here's what I'm seeing that it's taking for buyers to become homeowners here in this market right in January in 2022. I'm seeing, number one, I'm seeing inspections completely removed. Okay, there are no home inspections. Number two, I'm seeing above asking price offers. I'm seeing offers anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000, sometimes $50,000 over the asking price. Now, this isn't in all cases, but this is in most cases. The other thing that I'm seeing is I'm seeing sellers or buyers pay for seller closing costs. I'm also seeing buyers removing appraisal contingencies. What that means is they're willing to cover the appraisal if it comes in short. So if you offer $400,000 on a house and the house appraises at $390,000 or $380,000, you're covering that $10,000 to $20,000 gap with your own cash out of pocket. This is a big deal because if you have that money that you're planning on using just for your down payment, now in some cases you're using it just to overpay on a house to get the seller to accept your offer. It's pretty ridiculous right now. And then, just as we've seen in many cases over the years, I've done videos on this, is I'm seeing a lot of buyers writing letters to the sellers to make an emotional appeal to that seller saying, hey, please pick me. And it can be very frustrating when you do all of those things and you still lose. I just had a buyer where we went $50,000 over the asking price. We covered $50,000 above appraisal values, and we still lost to another buyer. It can be very, very exhausting. So here are the mistakes that I'm seeing buyers make as they're coming into a market like this when they have to do these extravagant things to a seller just to get them to choose or consider your offer. And the biggest mistake I'm seeing buyers make is not trusting their realtor. They're not emotionally and mentally ready. And so when their realtor is telling them what they're going to have to do, the buyers think they know what's best. The buyers think that, well, maybe, just maybe, I may be able to get this home and not have to do that. And then they do it and they lose, and they do it again and they lose. And by the third or fourth time, they're finally getting the picture that the realtor is right. And then they begin to trust the realtor and say, hey, Mr. Realtor, what do we got to do? I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore. What do I have to do to win? And now the realtor can go to work and really tell them what it's going to take to actually win. And if you are a buyer that's doing this to a realtor, I implore you that you have to trust the realtor. And if you don't, well, then you have two options. Either you need to get over yourself and choose to trust that realtor, or two, you need to find a realtor you can actually trust, that you believe has the confidence and the knowledge and the experience to guide you through this process to help you win. Because without them, it can almost be impossible. Unless you have unlimited funds, you don't care about what you're paying for or how much you're paying, well then you're gonna need your realtor to guide you through this process from the very beginning to the end. And that goes right into the second thing that I see, mistakes that I see the buyers make right now, is that they're trying to do just enough to make to win. They're trying to, well, I'll pay $1,000 over the other offer because I don't want to overpay too much. But the reality is you need to get your offer to stand out so much in such a way that it grabs the attention of the sellers and of the realtor to say, hey, the realtor goes, hey, I need to show my buyers this offer because this is a great offer. So when you say, hey, I'll do an escalation clause, $5,000 over the highest offer with no limit, boom, you are now grabbing the attention of that seller, of that realtor, and you're going to be in the hands of that realtor and you're going to be in the running. And that grabs the attention of a seller. And that's what is having to happen in this market. And it's just the reality of what you have to do to win. Now, I know many of you are probably going to think, well, this is the beginning of the year. Things could slow, it could change, it could be different. That's true. It could, but I doubt it. I really doubt that it's going to be much different. There's such a low inventory right now that if you are not prepared and if you're not focused and intent on trying to find the right home, you could be missing out to other buyers that are ready, that are emotionally there, that are physically and focused on making sure they are doing what it takes to win. So as a buyer, my recommendation is this. You need to trust your realtor, trust them, lean into their experience. If you can't do that, you need to find another realtor. If you need a recommendation to somebody in your area, I have relationships with top performing realtors around the country, and I'd be happy to connect you with some of them. Number two is that when you are putting in the examples that I gave of removing the inspection, appraisal contingencies, above asking offer, you want to do as many, if not all of these, to make sure your offer stands out against the competition. And you need to trust your realtor to guide you through on what that's going to look like in your specific market. And that hopefully will be enough to help you win and get across the finish line and avoid those biggest mistakes that I'm referring to that buyers make that cause them to lose over and over and over again. So guys, if you appreciate videos like this, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.